Hello, October. Hello, OctoberFest. Yes, it is the annual drinking festival all over the world. But since we are a fitness podcast, we were going to be talking about sobriety. Because why not, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong in alcohol unless you drink in excess that you are already starting to destroy yourself, your health, and hurt the people around you. So I think that's the time that you really need help. And we are so blessed this month because we have our friend Wayne, who has been sober for 9 years already, and he will share his story of sobriety and how important it is to join a community where you can seek help and make you realize that there is hope. Beautiful, right? So stay tuned.
Hi, Wayne. Welcome to VeggieFit, where we discuss everything fitness.
Thank you, Camille. Thanks for having me.
Well, I've always been a big fan of your family. I've always been a family man and to Charlie. And it was just this later post that I've realized that you're also supporting some very wonderful causes. And it's about your sobriety movement and recovery from alcohol problems.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So can you tell us about sobriety and why are you so passionate about it?
Oh, first, thank you again. Thanks for having me. And whilst I'm happy to share my story, I just need to thank you also for the platform that you provide for people to be able to share their stories. It's a wonderful thing that you do, and full credit to you. So thank you. My sobriety. It's on the open platform on Instagram. I have a lot of friends on Facebook and stuff that I've known through the years. And I decided to start Instagram just away from those people, just to see how to go without the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing when you put your life out there and people comment, and it can be, you make yourself very vulnerable, right? It's been a really wonderful experience. There's so many people struggling, and just being able to share that and share the stories. You listen to people's stories and you support them. It's a great sense of accomplishment. And we celebrate milestones, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a community where you can be honest, you can be real, genuine, sincere. There's nothing to hide from. And when I started, I'm not very eloquent with the words and stuff like that. I tend to stutter a bit and go around in circles. But when I write things down, things flow a bit. I got into writing
Mm-hmm.
just right in the early days about my milestones and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. It just flowed and it just took the weight off and it just felt right. And I come and go from it. Everything's on there in my life. But it's really to show that there is life after all that trauma and stuff. And just some really wonderful people. And yeah, it's easy to get passionate.
I agree with that because I started also testing Instagram because Facebook is a bit more toxic and a bit judgmental.
Yeah.
But when you
Yes.
actually go to a platform like Instagram and then maybe with only a few of your friends are there, you will actually realize that there's a bigger community that are supportive and non-judgmental. Like if you are trying to do this, yes, we all have a past,
Yes.
but they are there to support you. Hey, you can do this. Oh, keep going, something like that. So these things that you are trying to do to build for yourself, a different life for yourself, and there are people supporting you, makes you realize that you want to keep going, and then you are on the
Yeah.
right track. So you're doing it right, Wayne. I mean, this is one of the biggest blessing for you, other than your family, that you're actually given a platform to share your story and be an inspiration to everyone.
I still struggle with that people say that. I find a lot of inspiration in others on that particular platform. it's hard for me to think that I'm doing the same. But I get some real nice comments. And that's the beauty of it too. Yeah. I guess I was really nervous to post first couple of posts way back. I've been sober for 9.5 years now. And I think I started Instagram like 4, maybe 5 years ago. And so I was well into it, but putting it out there, yeah,
A
it
lot of
didn't bother me so much because it's not people I didn't know, but just shared my story. And it just, like I said, it felt like a weight lifted.
Yes.
And you get that confidence, which is part of my backstory as to why I turned to alcohol. You say something and you feel good about yourself, you get that confidence and you just get a roll on. And like you say, we all have a past, but
Mm-hmm.
the people that judge me by my past, they don't know the real me. I was a different person back then and I did some stupid things but yeah, the real me is here and now. You can judge me by what I did 10 years ago at your own peril. I don't have time for people that live back there.
Yeah.
We all move on. Like you say, we can't change the past. We can accept it. We can show remorse and move on, but and try and change things. And that's all we can do. But sharing and growing confident, and it just snowballs from there. It's wonderful.
Yes, that's the only way. I mean, when I shared my story first, I was so shy. I did not even listen to it for months. Yes, I did not listen to it for months. It is the story that something I'm ashamed of. But then I realized, what if I can help someone with my stories? And then I have this growing confidence to start it out.
Yes.
Yes. And then months later, I realized, oh my gosh, that was so cringe. And then someone actually commented about it and they said, you know what? That story of yours helped me.
Yes.
So those kind of comments are the ones that give you courage that, hey, I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. So maybe I'll just keep going because we all make mistakes. We're only human. And it's part of being human to have vulnerabilities, as you said. And yeah, we just learn from it.
Yeah, and ultimately, I share things for myself. It's not about the followers. It's not about the numbers. It's really not. When I write something, I just feel like I say the weight's lifted, and I've got that
Mhm.
off my back, or I've really wanted to share that wonderful story, and
Mm.
it's there and it's out there, and I feel great. If it helps just one other person, it's two people that it helps, and if it's three, it just triples, and if one person can take inspiration or see things a different way, then
Mm.
that's a win.
Yes, exactly. If you can change a life of one person in your lifetime, that's enough.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice feeling, eh?
Yes. So, Wayne, as you said, we all have this past. And there were a lot of challenges, right? Being sober for 9 years, but before those 9 years, you had it all. How did you start this being sober and what made you decide that I really need to stop this? I just want to change my life.
Well, I've got some wonderful people in my life.
Mm,
At the time, I thought I might have been doing it for them,
mm,
but we can't do it for anybody else. We've got to do it for ourselves, for our own reasons.
mm,
Throughout my life, I started drinking at an early age, and that confidence that I'd lacked all through my life from childhood trauma and stuff.
mm,
And I've started drinking and I was loud and I was out and having fun. And then you get to enjoying that and then it becomes a habit. And then, yeah, it just keeps going and going. And then you rely and you depend on it to have a good time. You bring it into every situation. Someone would invite me out and then I'd be thinking, what am I going to drink? How much shall I take? We're going on a holiday. How much do I need? I'd think about it in the morning.
mm,
On a Saturday, I'd get up on a Saturday morning and it was never enough. I only stopped when I ran out. I was thinking about it the other day. There was probably 2 or 3 times in my life, and one was with my dad. Had to have a flagon beer, and I remember that. I enjoyed the taste sitting down with him. And like I say, it's just probably 2 or 3 occasions in my life where I enjoyed taste. The
mm,
rest of the time, just to get that effect, to get to that level of confidence. But I did some stupid things, gosh, and really embarrassing things.
mm,
And at the end of the day, yeah, it was embarrassment. My wife now, she was with me back then, and gosh, she's got some real pain. And she was good because she confronted me about it, my past. It was, I got sat down and talked to her about it, but I never took it seriously. But this occasion, it was just the embarrassment. It was just an aha moment.
Mm.
And that was it. I stopped. I didn't have withdrawals as such needing alcohol. I guess
Mm.
it was more withdrawals from that confidence,
Mm.
not having confidence if I was going out, if I was going to sporting events or whatever,
Mm.
doing without it at those things, funerals, weddings, birthdays, anything. And once you go to a few things like that and you do it sober and
Mm.
you feel great and there's no embarrassment, there's no shame, it's just a step up. And the next time it's another step and another step. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine a life going back to that. And I know some people really struggle. Got friends here in Nelson that struggle daily, but I thankfully haven't. And I'm stubborn, eh?
Mm.
If I tell myself something, I stick to it. Yeah, it's the best life, honestly. But seeing both sides, it's given me a greater scope of vision, and I know what it was like back then. I know what it's like now.
Mm.
So I've got a comparison, and there's no way I'd ever want to go back to that.
Mm. So, did you never experience some withdrawal syndrome on the first time that you stopped drinking? Because many people who tried to stop drinking have difficulty continuing to stop drinking because they said that they will have chills, they will have like a lot of physical symptoms, or maybe they fall into it again because they encountered problems, something like that. Did you have those kind of moments too?
This particular time I stopped, yeah, I promised myself times before when I love my sport and I'd be training for stuff and I'd
Mm.
promise myself that I'd give up. I'd give up for a couple of days.
Mm.
It wasn't the withdrawals, the physical needing it. It was just breaking that habit. It was just a habit for me. And
Mm.
that's what I couldn't break. And I didn't take it seriously. Let's be honest. I just didn't think I had a problem, so you don't take it seriously. And
Mm.
until you admit to yourself that you do have a problem, that people are getting hurt around you, people that you love, yeah, once you be honest, I found it quite easy. But until then, I found it hard. But that's because I wasn't true to myself. Thankfully, no physical withdrawals as such for
Mm.
me.
Beautiful story, Wayne, because that's where most people stop. But because, as you said, it's more of a habit for you, maybe it's more like a mindset thing, and then it just clicked. Maybe for them, they were drinking because of other reasons, but for you, it's more of just a habit than an addiction to drinking liquor. So, yeah, different stories, different
Different.
issues.
Yeah, I say I've been sober for 9.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've only just this year, Dad passed away a few weeks ago, and I managed to talk to him, and he wasn't a heck of a lot. He didn't say much, but
Mm.
I got to the bottom of a few of the things from his past and from
Mm.
my past, explained a lot to me, and it had all made sense. And until you find why you drink, I guess,
Mm.
why you are to something, why you have that habit,
Mm.
you're just grasping at straws. So I'm really grateful that I stopped when I did. Gosh, it's just so clear now why I did it, why I started, what I
Mm.
was trying to get away from.
Mm.
And that habit that I talk about, that
Mm.
habit got me into a comfortable place.
Mm.
And I enjoyed that comfortable place. And that's a habit, addiction, same word, I guess it's same meaning. But yeah, I found my why. I'm so at peace with it all.
Mm. Have you always been vegan, or did you start it after being sober?
So it'd be 3 years at Christmas we've been vegan.
Mm-hmm.
We did it as a family for a medical reason. My wife, she was firm on the belief that she didn't want to be taking a dozen pills a day for the
Mm.
rest of her life to manage a chronic illness. And so we investigated and yeah, we decided to go vegan. And here we are. Well, come Christmas, will be 3 years. And, and she's never taken one of those pills in all that time. And the last time we had a checkup, no sign of the illness. I guess that was what kicked it off 3 years ago. And when I got sober, I drank a lot, like I said. And when you stop drinking,
Mm.
I drank all my calories. I hardly ate. And
Mm.
what I did eat was poor, but but I stopped drinking, and I'm not one for the gym. I enjoy biking and stuff, but dropped 28 kilos just from not drinking. And
Wow.
people notice that, and they, and they look and go, oh, you're looking well, you're looking healthy, and yeah, you feel better because you're a lot lighter.
Yes.
But when we became vegan, I
Mm.
mean, I just touched on my wife's story, became vegan. You just feel so much better on the inside. People can't see that. People
Yes.
can't see how good you feel on the inside. And I know had a couple of old sporting injuries and stuff as well. And just continuing throbbing and pain and stuff that I'd get in my joints gone. It was literally overnight. And once you feel like that,
You just stop.
why would you go back? And
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, the ethical thing about it as well, you start looking into that and what's happening. It just solidifies everything. I'm a slow learner, eh? It took me a long time to get sober, and it's taken me this long to 50 odd years before I became vegan. So yeah, slow learner, but it's all good. I'm probably the
I can agree with you because I'm not vegan,
right.
but there was a time that I got really sick. And for a month, I think I only ate vegetables.
Sure.
Yeah, and I ate little than I used to. And then after a month, many of my illness disappeared. Well, I'm still not vegan, and I only do become vegetarian for my gut cleanse during Lenten season. I'm Catholic, so I think I've been open about it. So those 40 days, those are the times that I try to be vegetarian. I kept it because I believe that it kept me healthy and away from more illness. So how much more if you can really become fully vegan, right? As long as all the nutrients, especially the proteins, are met. And I think it's nicer in other countries because they have more options. But for me, in our country right now, we don't have much options yet. So for you, there's more options.
Absolutely. Even from when we started, what's available is incredible. Also, Catholics, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not ashamed of that either. Gosh. And that helps at times,
Hmm.
You revert to prayer, and there's a lot of things to keep us strong, and that's just one of them. We're very blessed here in New Zealand with the fresh stuff that we have available. Dairy and meat is our primary industries. So
Yes, it's true. The beef.
a lot of yeah, and that's where we were brought up. You go out fishing, you go out hunting, you play sport, you drink. That is part of the culture, but it is slowly changing. Another generation, maybe.
Yeah, I think everyone is changing. It's just that some countries are slow on adapting. Just can't give up all the meat.
Yeah, like I say, I've been a long time eating meat and a long time drinking, and I understand why people drink, and I can understand why they still eat meat. I was that not long ago, so there's no judgment there. I don't force it down anybody. If it works for you, it works for you. But I just know that I'm healthier, I feel healthier, and my life's better without it, and that's really it. To each their own.
Yeah. So Wayne, you just said on one occasion for the alcohol anonymous, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how can you tell your fellow people out there that it's really important to join a community like that or a group like that in order to strengthen your sobriety?
Yeah, and that's probably the word, Camille. You said it to strengthen it. It was probably 3 weeks ago I went to my first meeting.
Mm,
And again, I did it for me. I was stubborn enough that I didn't have to drink when I did decide to stop.
mm,
And a few people along the way have said, have I gone to an AA meeting? And I quite proudly said, I didn't need to. You don't have to. I've got it under control. I'm okay.
mm,
And gee, it's like I said in my post that all these years, and it just clicked with me that it's not about me. I might have my stuff together, but it's just to be of service to somebody else, to know that somebody else might understand your story and be in the same place and take something from that. That's the gold right there. And it was my boss that I did a bit of building up Mount Ruapehu, and that was a awesome time. I was drinking back then, but he was sober, and
mm,
he comes in and out of social media from time to time, and I haven't been in touch with him for probably 4 years.
mm,
And he came out of the blue. He calls it pretty straight, and he still goes to 2 meetings a week,
mm,
and he's 23 years sober. And he said, somebody there may need to hear that story. And it was only when I thought about what he had said, you're right. It's not about me. So I went to one, and I have every intention of going for more on a regular basis. But yeah, I went into that room and so comfortable. It was such I don't know, the feeling of welcome and love. It was really quite special. And everybody, I'd seen it on TV, and it's just like that. And you get to share, nodding and understanding and empathizing, and yeah, their story just like mine. Some people still struggling, some people a few years on, but all the same story. Yeah, I can't rate it highly enough. And yeah, and I'd definitely be going back to share any story that the topic of the night, or if anybody's struggling, I'd love to be of service.
Wonderful. It's like you're slowly coming out from your shell, from just being sober on your own to being sober and of service to other people who are suffering.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a slow learner, eh? It's
Mm.
my
That's a beautiful growth for your 2023.
yeah, and for anybody struggling with sobriety or trying to do it on their own and struggling, then I definitely recommend that going to a meeting. They're on it every day, even here in Nelson. It's accessible, friendly. Probably would have made it easier on those times prior to 9.5 years ago. That may have helped me a lot. Yeah, if I had have owned up and been true to myself. You can't go there and fib your way through it. Being genuine shines through, and everyone there was. It really was wonderful.
Although I do not drink, that feeling that you're in a community of supportive individuals with same stories will always give you hope
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
feels good about yourself. I'm very thankful, Wayne, that you gave some of your time to share about your journey. Even if you have some issues with your baby at home, you still give us some time to share your stories. I'm very thankful for that because in our country there are a lot of people who loves to drink and have caused a lot of problems in their home and the community. And your story is just a proof that anybody can change.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big problem everywhere. Guess I envy those people that can have one drink and enjoy the taste, and that's enough.
Mm.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that can't say stop. And you're right. It's the household.
Thank you so much.
No, no, you're welcome.
I hope you learned something valuable today and continue to support VeggieFit. Because here at VeggieFit, we may not still be fit and still far from being spiritual, but we're working on it every day. Thank you for listening and see you again in our next podcast. Bye.